Hello guys. Welcome back to Top 5 Choices. In this video we are going to do a detailed review and pick the top 5 mechanical keyboard. So let us get started and the review based on our studies and small research. If you have any personal suggestion, do let us know in the comment section. If you are for the first time, don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon for more videos. We will be also providing affiliates link to purchase from Amazon. Kindly use Twitter for best offers and purchase from anywhere in the world. So let's get started. Like most Hypix gear, the Alloy Origins has a subtle, understated quality to it. The full-size board's aluminum-coated base and black keys look sleek, without feeling showy. Its compact frame, 1.4 by 17.4 by 5.2 inches, and metal-coated base make it look dense, and at £2.30 it feels slightly heavy for its size. Enough about how it looks. Let's talk about how it types. As mentioned, the Alloy Origins represents Hypix's first foray into making its own mechanical switches. The Hypix Red switches, like the Cherry MX Red, it approximates a quick tapping, linear switch. Its actuation point and total key travel are just slightly less than Cherry's. The Hypix keys actuate at 1.8 mm versus 2 mm for Cherry Reds and bottom out at 3.8. Unless you've seen the Vulcan 120MO, I would wager you've never seen anything quite like the Vulcan 121MO. That's because this keyboard uses ultra-fine keycaps on top of clear, elevated switches, unlike the recessed switches and encompassing keycaps in competing models. The full-size keyboard isn't obnoxiously large, either, measuring 18.2 x 9.3 x 1.3 inches. Part of this is because it doesn't have an extra row of macro keys. This helps keep the price a little lower than those few competing RGB keyboards, which can range up to $180. It saves some space at the same time. Granted, if you're a heavy macro user. Razor Green is the traditional option, which is most comparable to Cherry MX Blue with a 1.9 mm actuation point, 4 mm of key travel and 0.4 mm reset point. Razor Yellow is a newer linear option similar to a Cherry MX Speed Silver with a 1.2 mm actuation point, 3.5 mm of key travel and 0 mm reset point. For those who haven't looked into keyboard switches previously, this means the Razor Green is considerably louder and better suited to general purpose use with a mix of typing and gaming. The Razor Yellows are relatively quiet and more expressly for gaming. The SteelSeries Apex Pro arrives in a gaming keyboard scene that hasn't changed all that much in the last decade or so. We've grown so used to Cherry MX mechanical switches and RGB lighting that everything kind of starts to blur together. One of our biggest pet peeves when it comes to gaming keyboards in general is just how big they can get. You'll constantly find these huge, foreboding slabs of plastic jutting out of the sides of a lot of keyboards. Luckily, the SteelSeries Apex Pro avoids this trend. The aluminum frame of this laptop is just big enough to house it, without too much excess. There is no space wasted on the sides, as the Apex Pro virtually ends where the keys stop. This minimalist design wins at big points as far as we're concerned. The keycaps are elevated above the keyboard deck, giving the keyboard a very modern and clean aesthetic. And, while they're made of plastic, they still feel solid and premium. Around the back of the keyboard, you'll find a USB pass-through. Not only is the pass-through easy to reach, but it's illuminated, so it's easy to find even during a late-night gaming session. Of course, because there is a USB pass-through, this key. If you're familiar with the original K95 RGB Platinum, you'll feel right at home with the XT. Coming in at 1.4 by 18.3 by 6.7 inches and £2.90, it's slightly less bulky than other feature-rich flagship keyboards, but still demands a lot of real estate on your desk. It's a full-size, 104-key device, with an extra 6 dedicated macro keys at the left edge, bringing the total number of keys to 110. The black keys, wrist rest, and just barely grey aluminum top panel restrain the RGB lighting coming through from the switches underneath, but also create strong contrast that makes the colors look especially vibrant. Most functions of the K95 RGB Platinum XT are tied to Corsair's configuration software, EQ. You can use it to set macros, map keys, change the RGB lighting, and create keyboard map profiles that can be tied to specific programs. As I mentioned, the biggest improvement the XT brings involves the 6 macro keys at the left. In addition to being fully mappable with whatever keyboard function or macro you choose, they can now sync up with the software for Elgato's Stream Deck video mixes, effectively turning your keyboard into a mini Stream Deck, which is a huge boon for live streamers. I'll go into detail about what works,